Okay, welcome back to day 314. Yes. So, I was gonna say, hey, by the way, it's gonna be really loud and raining, but I guess the rain decided to. And now I got a text. 1 sec. Hey, we're back. Apparently my sibling decided to wake up just when I started doing this. She wanted to cut my hair, and I desperately need it, but I'm like, nah, man. I mean, it's middle of the night, but also I'm doing this. But three. I can't believe the rain stopped. It was going for like quite a while. Usually when it's like a really big storm and it just passes over, it's like, okay, well, it just passed over. But this is like, no, we're gonna rain a lot for a little bit, and I'm like really loud. Usually when it's really loud, it's okay, pause doing whatever you're doing that needs audio and let it pass. Like, we're watching a movie, we'll have to pause for 10, 15, 20 maybe minutes, but this is going for over 30, I think, because I watched that thing for like 25 minutes, and I think it was raining the whole time. My sibling texted again saying that she had a headache, fell asleep, couldn't do my hair. Again, makes sense. Anyways, we were on the move, work, picking up people from work, I'm home from work, blah, 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 dentist, allergy shots, a bunch of stuff today. So we were on the move, and we got Taco Bell, because it's not only option that's gluten-free. Yeah, it's the only option that's gluten-free, so we're like, yeah, let's do that. So I got gluten-free, like if you get the corn tacos, gluten-free. 1 second. Is my cat meowing? He went out in the middle of the rain. I don't think so. Okay, but so what happened is I'll get there. Oh yeah, so we went to Taco Bell. God, I felt so sick, but I ate like 3 of those little cinnamon delights or whatever. So good. So good. Like, usually I'm not tempted by things. Usually I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. It's those cinnamon bites, when they are warm, you bite into it, and the inside has the, like, I don't even know if I'm gluten intolerant, and I feel kind of yucky because of the gluten. If I ate way too many tacos, because my sibling was so hungry, and it's like grocery shopping, she was like, yeah, we need like 18 tacos, and I'm like, no, we don't. No, we don't need. She's like, yeah, we do. And I'm like, no, we don't. She's like, okay, and I got them. I'm like, okay. You know how the drive-thru goes. And we're like, okay. And they're fine with it. They're like, here you go. Anyways, so I ate a few tacos, but I also don't know about corn, whatever. Allergies suck. But anyways, point was that I didn't get a Baja Blast, unlike what they said. But I did have one of those freezes or whatever. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's fun. That's always a good time. But my Taco Bell is in this like little corner of a shopping center, and next to it is a mechanic. And let me lovingly say, are mechanics Is my cat meowing? So what happened is that we're next to a mechanic, and so are all mechanics like this, or is it just America? Is it just slightly Southern America? Where are we at? Because what happened was clearly this must have belonged to the mechanic. It was not one getting fixed. It must have been the mechanic's car, because it's all like you know, gas, grass, or ass, you have to pay for a ride. And each of them had a little pictogram, which was dollar bills, weed, and then a booty and a thong. And it's like, haha, you have to pay. I'm like, okay, cool. Apparently they had Rick from Rick and Morty on the side of the car, which my sibling could see. And then one that neither of them could see was a little, not a stick figure, that's a whole different scenario, but like one of those two bathroom sign kind of gingerbread man, kind of, but like not gingerbread man, if you're nearer than that. One was a lady on her back, on the guy's face in between her legs, and it says I heart sushi. And I'm like, I'm glad to know he services other things besides cars. But man, was that, and there was more. There was more, but those were the ones that really stood out. You know what I'm saying? So my sibling on my left was getting about 18 tacos and the cinnamon delights, which by the way, I ate them. And then on this side was that car, and me going, is all mechanics like this? Like if I go overseas to Europe, are European cars like this? Like not cars, European, what's the word I was looking for? Engineers? No. Car mechanics. Are mechanics cars like this everywhere? Because out loud actually here, I know it isn't in Texas. Some places it's illegal, some places not, but I know other people's cars like that, and will have those fake dangling balls hanging off the end, or like the back. Those are illegal. You're not allowed to drag things behind you, like off your car. It's not legal. Not just balls, just anything. But I know if that was legal here, he would have that. And I'm just like, yeah. So it was a car, man. It was a car. So anyways, yeah. There's so many people at my doctor's today. And I'm like, after 10 people, please stand in the hall until your name is called. So I'm looking around the room and I'm like, counting them, like, how many people are there? But I'm just standing there because I don't sit down until after my name's called, just in case they're like, okay, sorry, you can't do it today, actually leave. I then don't sit down because then I'm like, okay, well, I can easily wash my hands, boom, goodbye, no COVID, see you later, suckers, you know. But anyways, and oh man, it just, so many people were there, so many people. Oh yeah, so anyways, so I was watching this show. I love watching, just like watching, but not like wanting to absorb or be part of a fandom of, just like watching it. Recently I did it with Letterkenny. Earlier this pandemic year, I watched like Superstore, watched a really odd anime that I actually don't even know what it is called. Not a really weird anime, just it's very exaggerated anime. So anyways, I watch a lot of these things that I don't want to be like watching. It's just watching, like it's on. I don't know. I grew up in a family that for the kids the TV isn't on all the time, but for the adults they will fall, like they're like, I can't fall asleep without the TV on, and I'm like, it went to kill you. Anyways, so what happened is when I'm doing this, when it's uploading, whenever I'm doing whatever, just trying to relax, eating when I'm alone. Because eating and sitting and just eating when you're alone is always so sad. For me, I'm just like, okay. So I'm like, I might as well be doing something. Sometimes, whatever. The only thing that I don't do when watching TV is read or anything that's other engaging. But anyways, the point was that I was watching this show from 2012, which was The New Normal. And it's about two gay men who are married, and they get a surrogate woman to have their baby. And this show, that's it. That's the whole show. It's 99% poking at politicalness, which makes sense. The new normal, meaning it's not always the perfect white. Well, I wasn't going to say cis, but I actually never talked about trans people. The white, straight, nuclear family with no disabilities or anything kind of thing. It's like, we're not that. They're 99% that. They're just, gay. Because I was like, well, they're rich. They're the main couple, the gay couple, is very rich. They're very well off. No, they're rich. They're not well off. They're rich. They're rich. They're actually rich. Versus the surrogate, who is a struggling single mom, who is everything else besides gay. So her one thing is that she's poor. So diverse, so poking at being like, the new normal. And I'm like, this isn't, okay, whatever. This is the show that I would have issues with back in 2012, that I'm like, this is what we have. I'm not poking at it from a nowadays standpoint, poking back. Again, this is pre-legal of gay marriage. Anyways, by a few years, a few years, they actually have, but one of the second or third episode, fourth, I don't know, third or fourth episode, they actually talk about the 2012 election between Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. Spoilers, we know who wins. We're in the future of the show. But they're talking about it. And through the whole thing, it's talking about how, like, you don't need to tell people who you vote for. Obviously, it's supposed to be a blind vote. What got me is that is incorrect. If you vote in smaller elections, people will know. It is not a secret. I have about 5, because a local election is coming up. I have about 5 open-faced postcards saying who I vote for, like what side, and my full name. So, it's not a secret. Anyone can find it out, and you're like, well, that's the mail. Well, Democrat and Republicans have 2 different vote days on smaller elections. It will be one area, but it sometimes will be 2 different days, or one time, one wasn't even in person, one was exclusively online, and then one was in person, so I had to go in person. And I'm just like, okay. So I'm like, oh, we're all the same party, because they didn't even ask. They're like, okay, here's your ballot. I'm like, okay, cool. Also, I don't know if you can vote in both sides, meaning if I wanted my best candidate, if I did want to be truly, I want my best, I would have to choose which one, on what side I would like to push forward. And flip-flopping isn't easy in the system, as easy as just getting everyone. Well, it is for the big election. It's really easy to flip. But in the smaller elections, you have to ask for a particular ballot. You will get different ballots, like completely different ballots depending on which one you asked for. So there will be different sample ballots. The people giving out the sample ballots will know who you're. Like, when I walked up, and I know, I don't look very alternative. When I walked up with my two other alternative siblings and we're like, hey, we're here to vote, they're like, you want this ballot? And we're like, yeah, but we already have names, so we're good, because we didn't need the handout ballot. Anyways, the point was that it's a little blah blah blah, because it's a little too talky. It also really got to me that, like, obviously I don't know much about Mitt Romney and his stances or Obama's stances pre-becoming president. I wasn't part of knowing the lead up. I didn't listen to any of their speeches, the lead up, or any of that. I didn't care. I couldn't vote at that point. Yeah, 2012. Yeah, I couldn't vote yet. But a few years later, my first election, blah blah, I knew the lead up, especially with the Hillary versus, why do we say Hillary? No offense, screw that. Clinton versus Trump. I think we just use our first names in that one. I feel like that really shows how low it is. Like, if we're like, Donald versus Hillary, like, you kind of can tell what vibe that year was given off. You know what I'm saying? It was a little... Anyways, point was that... Oh, we know what happened there, too. Spoilers. So what happened was... at the very, very, very end of it, and I think it was trying to prove you can't tell who votes for who, and you should be true. I don't know. It was supposed to be like a twist. It was a very, very 2012 twist to me, but it was a zoom in on the guy's face, and it's like, blink once if you're voting blank, blink twice if you're voting for Romney. I don't know why I said blank, Obama or Romney, blink twice for Romney. And so what happened is that was the partner. So there's a whole thing, the two gay people, the couple, were talking about how voting for Obama is, like, only right, and blah blah. And I wish I could give this show the benefit of the doubt, but at the very end, the show shows the partner of the one that said that to someone else. You see the zoom in and he blinks twice. I mean, he's gonna vote for Romney, whatever. Here's the thing. His own partner doesn't know. And I'm not saying that, like, oh, you have to tell everyone who you vote for. But if I have a partner who I think I agree on certain issues with, and you go and you tell me, oh no, I've been voting differently than what I have openly expressed to you repeatedly, and again in the span of this episode, repeatedly, and assuming for years, with, like, they have a framed photo of them with Barack Obama in their bedroom, and you're going to tell me that, like, if I was him, like if I was the husband, you're gonna tell me that you've been lying? Like, it wasn't like who you voted for. It's that you lied to me for years. And I want to give the show the benefit of the doubt. This is what I was talking about. I want to give the show the benefit of the doubt that they were saying that in they're rich white gay men, especially this one, who's extremely, they kind of play it off like this, but then also not, extremely straight passing, because, like, he likes sports, and he doesn't know what this is, and he doesn't know who this is, and he's not really big into this, and blah blah blah. And it's like he's supposed to be the, like, he seems straight, like, straight passing guy. And it's like, I wish they're calling out the unfairness or the hypocriticalness of being like, well, he didn't grow up with the same issues that his partner, who is very flamboyant, who's not straight passing, faced, and he doesn't have the same ideas. I wish it was saying something like that, but it isn't. It was just saying, like, haha, you never know. But it's like, well, that makes me mad, because if that was my partner, don't lie to me. Like, again, it's like, I'm not saying that, oh, you vote for this, or again, I don't know what their issues were. I don't know how they talked, what they were talking about. For me, it's extremely just tell me, dude. Like, just don't lie. But also, no, don't go to sleep. Why are you going to sleep? Dear God, man. Why are you going to sleep? No, okay, whatever. You didn't die. Nope, he just fell asleep. Okay, so it's just like the fact that he lied to his partner for years, or for at least a good chunk of time, but then also, the only way to save it is if they talked about the hypocriticalness between a lot of people. Like, I know there's a lot of like well off / rich white guys have different opinions because they don't have the same issues. Like, not all trans people think the same, obviously. Me and Caitlyn Jenner have vastly different opinions on a vast amount of different things, and political parties and people that we vote for are different, because for her it is about, and I'm going to be blunt, extremely trying to keep her money. For me, it's people can't. Oh, my headphones are disconnected. Okay, there we go. People can't afford to live and blah blah. So, that episode was not good. Like, it kind of was calling out the whole, like, hypocritical thing, or a little, but it wasn't quite there. It didn't quite nail it, and I feel like it's not good. It was, don't lie to your partners.